If you're watching this channel, you've almost certainly heard of Honor Among Thieves, the D&D movie released in 2023. There's also a good chance you've heard of the D&D movie that came out way back in the year 2000, starring Marlon Wayans and Jeremy Irons. It was not great. Did you also know there were low-budget sequels churned out in 2005 and again in 2011? And while these movies were probably also bad, I haven't seen them. No, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the original D&D movie. That's right, the 1982 classic Mazes and Monsters, based on the novel of the same name by Rona Jaffe, which is a cautionary tale adapted from sensationalist and fear-mongering newspaper stories about a college kid who went missing. He coincidentally played D&D, which media and concerned parents made the scapegoat and helped kickstart the satanic panic of the 1980s. You know, the good old days. Reaganomics, New Coke, the Cold War, Satan? Well, anyway, the point of this video is that I endured this whole movie to give you a fun, play-by-play recap so you don't have to watch it. And I should win some sort of award for doing this, honestly, because this movie is downright awful. If there is a Nobel Prize for YouTubing, please nominate me. Let's start off with the fact that this movie is flat out hard to watch on a modern 4K TV. Shot in ancient 480p resolution, it's blocky and choppy and full of artifacts. Like, check out this still from the first minute of the movie. Do you have any idea what you're looking at here? The movie opens with a flash forward to the first responders firstly responding to something. Cops in trench coats spell out the premise to each other. A kid went missing, and he plays the game Mazes and Monsters. Apparently, a game at the university got out of hand. And then a news reporter speaks direct to camera to spell out the moral of our story and the theme of the movie, wasting no time to hit us over the head with it. He says,
Kind of a psychodrama, you might say, where these people deal with problems in their lives by acting them out.
And I mean, okay, yeah, I guess he's not technically wrong, but he says it in such a melodramatic way, it's like he's recounting tales of people who took acid and thought they could fly so they jumped off buildings, which is a thing people used to claim would happen if you did drugs. And perhaps I'm foreshadowing later events in the movie? Then we jump back 6 months. JJ, a college kid in a funny spiked hat,
Nice hat.
comes home to visit his vapid New York socialite mother. For some bizarre reason, she's renovated his room to look like an all-white mental asylum.
Voila!
Oh no.
That's never really addressed, but the story moves on regardless. JJ is a good student, but he's neglected by his parents. Oh, the Freudian trauma. Next we meet Kate, another student and child of divorce. She wants to be a quote famous writer, but her issue is that she hasn't had enough life experience to write well, so her mom tells her to use her imagination.
Well, you could use your imagination.
I wonder if Kate will find something to write about during the course of the movie. And then we meet Daniel, an Aryan kid in a pill-free sweater who's good at computers. He wants to make computer games, which his parents of course think is just preposterous.
Daniel, I have seen students in my class, and I have seen you. You have a special gift for computers. You've always had that.
What I really love is to make up games for computers.
Just downright silly, and he should focus his talents on getting a real job after college. I mean, when you're good at computers, you can't just waste all that talent, right? Flash to the fictional Grant College. JJ, Kate, and Daniel are looking for a fourth player for the game, and so we finally meet Robbie, a fresh-faced Tom Hanks, so full of talent and charisma one has to wonder how the hell he got cast in this thing. This was only 2 years before Splash, an all-time classic movie. Robbie's issues are that his mother drinks and his dad is a fuddy-duddy.
This time you're going to concentrate on your schoolwork, do you hear?
Yeah, I know, Dad, I will.
I see another D, you don't see another check.
Oh, leave him alone.
Better keep your grades up, Robbie, and no games. His parents make him promise not to play that awful game. Do they mean racquetball? Lawn darts? High-lie? I wonder what it could be. JJ, in a different silly hat, eagerly watches the community board in the caf, hoping someone will see his tacked-up note. Robbie walks by and JJ swamps him, trying to get him to become their group's fourth. Robbie wistfully says,
I used to, but I don't anymore.
Oh, that's too bad. We really need a fourth player.
he's not supposed to play anymore. We can feel the deep sense of conflict within him, and oh, what juicy irony we're establishing for later, how all of this tragedy could have been avoided if Robbie had, sliding doors style, simply walked past the community board without stopping. Then Robbie meets Kate and he falls instantly in love, and they both play Mazes and Monsters. And not only that, they're all 9th level.
Daniel, I want you to meet Daniel. Daniel, meet Robbie. He's level 9.
Hey!
Robbie knows he shouldn't play, but JJ, Daniel, and Kate more or less bully him into showing up at the next game. Cut to the session. In a cramped, candlelit room, Daniel declares,
I am the maze controller, the god of this universe I have created, the absolute authority. Only I know the perilous course which you are about to take.
Sure, I've known some GMs like that. They all introduce their characters, and you get the feeling these poor actors have no earthly idea what this dialogue is they're saying.
I am Pardieu, a holy man. In reaching the 9th level, I have acquired many magic spells and charms, the greatest of which is the graven eye of Timur.
Oof, that's painful. Next, we see Robbie and Kate inevitably falling in love. In the library, jogging together, furtively glancing while they play M&M, flipping binder pages in what these clueless filmmakers think a role-playing game session would look like. Robbie reveals to Kate that he had a brother who ran away to New York, and he blames himself. More deep trauma and foreshadowing. We find out Daniel is known as a makeout champion, which is the 1982 version of being a fuckboy. JJ is jealous of Robbie and Kate's romantic connection. JJ fantasizes about killing himself and decides to go to the caverns, which will be a cool and spooky place to do it. He goes there but doesn't do the deed for some reason. We fade to black with no resolution. Now on to the next session. In the most realistic role-playing scene so far, JJ's character jumps into a pit to grab some treasure, but there are spikes and he dies. Kate chastises him for not using his sonar first to spot the trap.
JJ, that was really stupid, jumping into the pit without using your sonar first. Really stupid. Why did you do that?
Yeah, dude, obviously you gotta check with your sonar. JJ blames Daniel the GM. Daniel says it's not my fault. Character death is a normal thing in TTRPGs, but in this movie, it's a turning point. JJ suggests they take things to the next level, like the Fight Club turning into Project Mayhem. He says,
I propose we play Mazes and Monsters in a real setting.
So, LARPing. JJ just invented LARPing. But they'll do it in secret in the cave, which now explains the lack of suicide in the previous scene. They sneak out of school early in the morning in full LARP costume, which, if it's so important to keep it secret, I'm not sure why they didn't just think to change their clothes at their destination. Anyway, with JJ as the new maze controller, they enter the caves. Off-screen, he directs the others through some exploration and clue hunting. Then, JJ declares that a monster appears, and now we see the first cracks in Robbie's sanity. He's legit afraid of this imaginary creature, starts hallucinating, freaking out. He's not okay. Kate plainly reminds us of the moral of the story by saying, basically direct to camera,
The most frightening monsters are the ones that exist in our minds.
Indeed, Kate. Back at campus, Robbie is still in character and has clearly crossed the Rubicon. He's now Pardieu, the holy man. This is getting wild. Poor Tom Hanks. A weird dream guy at the end of a corrugated tube tells him he has to walk alone to the Great Hall and to come to the Two Towers. So Robbie dumps Kate and we jump forward in time. Daniel hits on Kate because all the boys want Kate, since Kate is the only female in the friend group, and we learn the shocking secret that Daniel has been cheating at the game. He's been going to the caves to find out where JJ hid the treasure. Not that this ends up mattering to the plot though, it doesn't come up again. At the Halloween party, JJ for the first time is not wearing a silly hat. I don't know if or why this is significant, but it stood out to me. Next thing we know, Robbie disappears, but he's left his wallet behind in the dorms. Curious. JJ, Kate, and Daniel search his room and find a scroll with weird drawings. The Great Hall? The Two Towers? Everyone is worried. They search the caves to no avail. The gang goes to the cops, who of course don't believe these silly kids, but they do bring in a trench coat-clad detective who has a very low opinion of mazes and monsters. He asks Kate,
Robbie a doper?
Which made me giggle. The detective thinks an M&M player definitely killed him. Daniel says,
That's kind of far out.
And the detective says with no humor or irony,
Mazes and Monsters is a far-out game.
Daniel tries to be the voice of reason by saying,
Hey, it's all imagination.
The first logical argument I've heard so far in this movie. Of course, the detective writes him off as a dumb kid, probably a doper. The gang reunites to get their story straight, and thankfully, JJ is back to wearing silly hats. They've decided to turn over their map of the caverns to the cops, and now we're caught up to the first responder scene from the opening. and the search turns up nothing. But the gang has the brilliant idea of utilizing their M&M skills somehow to find Robbie. Kate has the sudden realization that the Great Hall is about Robbie's runaway brother who went to New York. Remember that detail from a few minutes ago? And the Two Towers isn't Tolkien, it's the World Trade Center. Delusional Robbie is Pardue, and he's on a quest. Now we finally cut to Robbie, who's been gone from the movie for the last half hour. He's in skeezy 1980s New York, wandering around, going on his quest. He meets some muggers and hallucinates that they're kobolds or something. He even stabs one with a pocket knife, which is pretty wild. This briefly pulls him out of his psychosis, and he calls Kate.
Kate, I'm in New York.
New York? Robbie, are you all right? What happened?
They make a plan to meet up, but Robbie panics and ends up in the tunnels under the subway. As you can obviously tell from this crystal clear movie still, the gang arrives in New York. That's cars on a bridge. Back in the tunnels, Robbie panics at the sound of a subway, which he thinks is a dragon, naturally. A homeless man points him in the right direction, and Robbie has now forgotten about the rendezvous. The gang stops by JJ's, and his mother has renovated again, but this time, JJ loves the way his room is now decorated. I suppose this counts as a character arc for JJ somehow? I'm not sure. Robbie and the gang arrive separately at the Twin Towers. Several long and boring sequences of people going up and down escalators follow. I mean, seriously, this is supposed to be the third act action climax scene, but it's all so damn slow. Finally, the gang finds Robbie atop the World Trade Center about to jump off. You've probably seen clips of this scene before. He thinks he can fly.
I have spells. I'm going to fly.
You don't have enough points.
Spell points, obviously.
I am the maze controller.
This is some intense mental jousting here, for sure. And when JJ says he has ultimate authority in this game, Robbie breaks down in tears.
Game.
Some serious attempts at acting here from Tom Hanks almost have real weight, but it's just too silly.
JJ, what am I doing here?
But then a sad song starts playing and everyone hugs. No more mention of the runaway brother. I guess he's just gone. 3 months later, the gang goes to visit Robbie. On the way, everyone gets to present their own little epilogue. Kate has written her novel now that she has real-life experience. Daniel has accepted his pedestrian future as a computer guy. Nothing from JJ, but whatever. At least he likes how his room is decorated now. Robbie's mom makes it a point to absolve the friends of any responsibility for Robbie's mental illness, although you can't really discount the fact that they did kind of bully Robbie into playing in the first place when he clearly said he didn't want to play. Anyway, we hear that Robbie is getting better in therapy. However, when they see him, he's still in full-on Pardue mode, calling them by their character names.
Freelick! Aren't you dead? Didn't you die when you leaped into the pit?
Everyone looks at him with such pity. And for whatever bonkers reason, the gang decides to humor Robbie and LARPs with him one last time. I'm not sure how that's supposed to help him get better, but you know, maybe the producers were expecting the satanic panic to propel this made-for-TV movie to such high ratings to justify a sequel. And the movie concludes with voiceover from Kate's new novel, where she says they didn't see monsters when playing that last game.
We saw nothing but the death of hope and the loss of our friend.
Eesh, seriously? So what was the point of all that? Oh, right. Playing tabletop games is bad. It'll fry your brain irrevocably. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. So, there you go. 90 minutes of melancholy, satanic panic propaganda featuring the film debut of one of the greatest actors of all time. What a wild, wild ride. And if you're thinking of watching it yourself, please don't. It's so awful. I've made that sacrifice for you in the name of science. You're welcome. Anyway, until next time, this is GM Jim. Now go out there and don't forget to use your sonar and all your spell points.